Famous join some of the biggest. It's Friday at 8, ITV1.
Good morning. Government said this morning it would not bring in a Sarah's Law, a paedophile register, so people would know if a paedophile moved into their area. It would drive people like Sarah's killer Roy Whiting underground, ministers say. Yesterday, after Whiting's conviction, Sarah's parents made a plea for the introduction of Sarah's Law. The Middle East conflict has reached a new crisis point with a fresh outbreak of fighting. Israel launched a series of airstrikes on Palestinian headquarters and sent troops into West Bank towns in retaliation for the Palestinian bus ambush that killed 10 Israelis yesterday. The 12 British plane spotters being held in Greece are now more likely to return tomorrow than today. It's expected to take that long for them to complete the formalities and pay the £9,000 each for bail. That's it. I'm back with the lunchtime news at the usual time, 12:30.
Good morning. A warning's been issued after the deaths of 2 people in fires in as many days. Fire crews are concerned that as people relax and start enjoying the festive season, the chance of a fire starting increases.
The first blaze broke out on Monday in Bothell Cottages in Ashington. Workmen broke in after hearing a smoke detector, but were unable to rescue an elderly man who was eventually found dead in a bedroom. Then on Tuesday evening, a 50-year-old woman was killed in a fire at a house in Merton Cottages in Embleton. Although investigations are continuing into both fires, the Northumberland Brigade says they appear to be related to smoking or drinking. They say 2 deaths are already too many.
The law of averages sort of says things come in 3. For goodness sake, don't let it be you. We really need to make sure that over this festive season you really do enjoy yourselves, you really do have a wonderful time, but please, please keep an eye on some of those measures that you really need to take for your own safety, and in this context, particularly fire safety.
Brigade bosses fear Christmas often leads to a rise in the number of fires caused by people's carelessness. Fires which could be prevented by following some basic safety advice. Despite this week's events, they still hope that this year can be different.
Firefighters have been dealing with a large fire in a factory. Police officers were initially called to HSG Package Casing Limited on the Nelson Street Industrial Estate in the South Bank area of Middlesbrough at around 10:30 last night. The fire brigade was then called in. At its height, around 60 firefighters were tackling the blaze, which completely destroyed the building and caused considerable damage to an adjacent factory. No one was injured in the blaze, but the police are investigating the cause. Mystery still surrounds the death of a man knocked down by a van on the A1 motorway in County Durham. 29-year-old David Smith from Walker was killed as he walked in the inside lane of the northbound carriageway between Chester Street and Washington services last Friday evening. But police say no one can give them a reason for him being in that area. He left his flat in Walker in Newcastle, telling friends he wouldn't be long. An inquest into his death is due to open in Durham this afternoon. Campaigners have held a peaceful demonstration to mark the beginning of a year of protests at a North Yorkshire spy base. Menwith Hill listening station near Harrogate hit the headlines in July when Greenpeace staged a protest against plans for a so-called Son of Star Wars missile defence system. Local women planned to circle the base to highlight their own concerns over the plans. Passengers on the Tyneside Metro are facing another morning of disruption after an accident earlier this week. Services between Kingston Park and Newcastle Airport have been suspended since Tuesday when a crane travelling on the road caused severe damage to overhead power cables. Trains have been replaced by buses. Services elsewhere on the Metro are running as normal, but have been subject to delays. No one was hurt in Tuesday's incident, and there were no trains nearby. Nexus, which runs the Metro, says it hopes the repairs will be complete by this afternoon. Regular users of one of the Tyne bridges will be treated to an unusual display this morning. A team of youngsters is hoping to persuade 70 people to join hands across the swing bridge as part of their efforts to raise money for deprived children. The team are all Prince's Trust volunteers. It's one of 10 separate challenges they've set themselves, which also include spending a day in a wheelchair and having their pictures taken with a celebrity. Finally from me, two football managers are teaming up for a good cause. Bobby Robson and Peter Reid will put their differences aside at St Oswald's Hospice in Newcastle this afternoon. They'll lay a foundation stone for a new children's respite centre. The 8-bed unit will provide specialist care for children with life-limiting conditions such as muscular dystrophy and spina bifida. Building work's already underway after the St Oswald's jigsaw appeal raised the £3.8 million needed. And that's it. I'm back with more at 10 to 1. Till then, bye-bye.
Tyne Tees weather in association with Northern Electric and Gas, bringing power to the people.
Hello there. Well, it's back to the old winter weather this morning. No morning sun to blind you, just one or two people on full headlights as we go back to the Lord Mayor's show. Well, 5 or 6 days of really good weather comes to an end, and we're now all cloudy, one or two misty, drizzly bits, mizzle up on the hills, and even down in the Vale of York this morning is Guy misty. It's a cold old day as well, 6 or 7 Celsius with the breeze coming in from the northeast there. That's never a good sign for us, and it stays that way overnight. It's a cloudy old night, it's a mizzly bits up in the hills again, but at least the temperature numbers are staying above freezing. That doesn't mean to say we're not going to get a wee touch of ground frost, especially away from the coast there. Inland there might just get low enough, 3 touch of whiteness on the ground by the morning time. So looking ahead now to tomorrow, it's a grey old day with more mizzle.
Tyne Tees weather in association with Northern Electric and Gas.
More stars and more laughs.